The amazing, the insightful, the infamous Andre C. Martinez has set the YouTube RPG Brigade on fire today by daring to suggest that PvP is not all that bad, and then describing at length the abuses one should perform upon paladins. And now he wants to explore this firestorm he's created by asking 7 questions. He's asked us to give our insight, and so my answers to his 7 questions. Andre's first question is, what motivates you as a player? Part of that is going to come down to what game I'm playing. And part of that will determine how we're playing that game. But let's just say, in general, what motivates me as a player is the opportunity to explore a character, the opportunity to achieve insight into what it might be like to be that character, and to achieve some progress through the game world as that character, with the other players at the table feeling like I have portrayed that character without me overtly explaining it to them. What motivates your role play of a character is the second question. Very similar question, or at least how I'm interpreting it, but I enjoy adopting this other persona to the best of my ability and having that register as true or believable with the other players, and being able to create this experience of us interacting with each other as other people. In fact, I often prefer to spend as much time as possible with my friends while we're pretending to be other people. That sounds worse than I meant it. Yeah, so the motivation behind being willing to fully immerse or get into a character is really to create this feedback loop of each of us getting deeper into character because the others have been able to go a certain depth into that character. Is being a player and playing a character concept the same thing to you? No. Playing a character concept is one of the responsibilities of a player, but it is not the be-all and end-all of being a player. And this gets into things that some people might call a social contract, or others might call simply being an adult. But these are role-playing games, and there are game aspects, and there are imaginative aspects, there are creative aspects, and there is the aspect of playing a role. So, no, being a player and playing a character are related, but not the same thing to me. What do I define as player versus player? Well, the player is the person who sits down at the table. So PvP, or player versus player, to me, is when the two players, the two real-world personalities, are clashing in some way. And this might be over game-related topics, or it might not be over game-related topics. They may be dragging something in from outside. That's player versus player to me. What do I define as character versus character? This is logically consistent or emotionally consistent reason for antagonism or aggression, either social or physical or both, or at least, some kind of friction between two characters for in-story and in-character reasons. It does not in any way need to connect with how the two players feel about each other. What do I define as player versus character? Well, this is where somebody, even the game master, despises a particular character and conspires for reasons outside the game to do harm to the character inside the game. What do I define as character versus player? Wow, I've never considered character versus player. Conceivably, the only way I can picture this one, maybe something will clarify for me later, but the way this one resolves for me now is that a player who can deeply immerse in a character uses their character to screw with the character of a player who does not immerse in their character. They just simply use their character as an avatar, a way to transport themselves into the game events. And so every character that Joe plays is really just Joe or Bob or Frank or whatever. And so by using your character, which is nothing like you and not rooted in your own emotions, you mess with your buddy who cannot get into character, I guess. Not really sure on that one. I hope this helps in some way. I wish it had been briefer for you.